You didn't decide to stop feeling. It happened slowly. So slowly you didn't notice. One day the sadness got quieter, then the anger, then the joy. And eventually you looked around at your life and realized nothing moves you anymore. Not the bad things, not the good things, not even the things that used to light you up from the inside. And the strangest part? You're still functioning, still showing up, still answering when someone asks how you are. You say, "I'm fine," and you almost mean it because you're not in pain, but you're not in anything. You're in neutral. And neutral, when it lasts long enough, starts to feel like nothing at all. This is emotional numbness, and the reason most people don't realize they have it is because it doesn't feel like a problem. It feels like peace, like stability, like finally being over it. But you're not over it. Your brain just turned the volume down on everything. The pain, yes, but also the joy, the longing, the aliveness. All of it dimmed to the same low hum. In this video, we're looking at 7 subtle signs of it. And for each one, we're going to trace the chain. What caused the suppression and what the numbness took with it when it arrived. Because numbness is never random. It's always a consequence. And understanding the chain is how you begin to reverse it. Let's name the mechanism before we go any further. Your brain has something like a volume knob for emotional experience. When pain gets too loud, grief, rejection, fear, shame, overwhelm, the brain's job is to keep you functional. So it does what any sound engineer would do when the signal is clipping. It turns the master volume down. The problem is that the knob doesn't have separate channels. It's not a mixing board where you can lower the pain and keep the joy. It's a single dial. When the brain dims the pain, it dims everything. Love gets quieter. Excitement gets duller. The laughter that used to come easily now comes with a delay, or not at all. You traded agony for flatness. And the trade happened so gradually, you didn't know the terms. That's the volume knob model of emotional numbness. The brain didn't malfunction. It did exactly what it was designed to do: protect you. The problem is that the protection didn't come with a timer. It turned the volume down, and nobody told it when to turn it back up, so it stayed down. And here you are, a safe, quiet, and wondering why you can't feel your own life. Number 1. You can name what you're feeling, but you can't actually feel it in your body. The cause. At some point, your emotions became too intense for your system to process in real time. Maybe it was grief that wouldn't stop. Maybe it was years of low-grade stress. Maybe it was a single event that overloaded everything. So your brain learned to route emotions through thinking instead of feeling. You process them cognitively now. You know you're sad the way you know it's raining. You observe it. You don't get wet. The effect: you can have a conversation about your emotions with perfect articulation and still walk away unmoved. You've become fluent in the language of feelings without actually experiencing them. Therapists sometimes call this intellectualization. And the cruelest part is that it looks like self-awareness. People think you're emotionally intelligent. You're not. You're emotionally narrating. There's a difference. And the body knows it. Your chest stays flat during conversations that should move you. Your throat doesn't tighten. Your eyes don't sting. The words are accurate, but the body isn't participating. Number 2. You don't cry anymore, even when you want to. The cause. Tears require the volume to be up. They require the body to allow a wave to build, crest, and release, but when the volume's been turned down, the wave never reaches the crest. You feel the pressure behind your eyes. You feel the tightness in your throat. Your body starts the process, and then nothing. The system catches it before it breaks through. Not because you're strong, because the release valve was disabled by the same mechanism that dimmed the pain. The effect? You sit through funerals dry-eyed. You watch films that should wreck you and feel only a distant ripple. You even try to cry sometimes, privately, just to see if you still can. And the inability feels eerie, like reaching for a limb that used to move and finding it doesn't respond. The tears aren't gone. They're locked behind a door your nervous system closed for your protection and forgot to reopen. Number 3, you hear good news and nothing happens inside. The cause. This is where the volume knob model becomes most visible. When the brain turned down the pain, it also turned down the reward. The same system that dulls grief also dulls celebration. Your dopamine response flattened alongside your cortisol response. The brain doesn't distinguish between positive intensity and negative intensity. It just dials down intensity itself. The effect: you get the promotion and think, that's nice. A friend announces their engagement and you produce the right face but feel nothing behind it. You achieve something you worked toward for years and the moment of arrival feels quiet. Not disappointing exactly, just muted. And you start to wonder if something is wrong with you, because everyone else seems to feel things you can only perform. The good news lands in your inbox, but it doesn't land in your body. The signal arrives, the speaker is off, and what makes it lonelier is watching other people react to the same news with genuine feeling. Their face is bright, their voice is rising, while yours produces the correct expression from a script your body wrote years ago. Number 4, things that used to hurt you deeply barely register now. The cause. Repeated exposure to pain without adequate support teaches the brain that feeling the pain is useless. It doesn't produce help. It doesn't change the situation. It just hurts. So the brain, being efficient, stops bothering to generate the full emotional response. Why ring the alarm if nobody's coming? The suppression isn't weakness. It's the brain's version of efficiency. Stop wasting energy on signals that go unanswered. The effect: someone says something cruel and you shrug. A relationship ends and you feel a brief flicker, then nothing. You describe yourself as over it or past caring, and you believe it. But the truth is more complicated. You haven't processed the pain. You've filed it. It's sitting in a folder marked not worth feeling, growing heavier with each new edition, while you walk around thinking you've moved on. You haven't moved on. You've moved above. And the distance between you and the feelings underneath is getting wider every year. Number 5, you feel like an observer in your own life. The cause. When the volume on feeling goes low enough, experience starts to lose its texture. You're present, but you're not in it. The brain, in protecting you from overwhelm, pulled you slightly outside your own experience, just far enough that you can see your life happening without being fully inside it. Psychologists call this derealization or depersonalization, and in mild forms it's far more common than people think. The effect: you move through your day on autopilot. Conversations happen, tasks get done, plans are made, and at the end of the day you can barely remember any of it. Not because your memory is bad, but because you weren't fully there to encode it. Life is happening at a slight remove, a centimeter of glass between you and your own experience. You're in the room, but you're watching it from behind your own eyes instead of through them. Someone says your name, and it takes a beat too long to respond. You look at your own hands and they feel like props. You eat a meal and taste nothing, not because the food is bad, but because the sensory channel is running at minimum. Number 6, you can't be in silence without reaching for your phone, a screen, a podcast, noise. The cause: when your own inner emotional landscape has gone flat, silence becomes unbearable. Not because it's scary, but because it's empty. There's nothing there. The feelings that used to fill the quiet moments are gone, and what's left is a void that feels less like peace and more like absence. So you fill it, constantly. with anything that produces stimulation from the outside, because the inside has gone quiet in a way that doesn't feel restful. It feels hollow. The effect: you scroll without absorbing. You watch shows you don't care about. You listen to music at a volume designed to override the silence, not because you enjoy it, but because you need it to cover something. The stimulation isn't pleasure. It's noise to fill a room your feelings used to furnish. And when the screen goes dark or the podcast ends, what's left is the same flat quiet that sent you reaching in the first place. Number 7, the deepest sign. You don't remember what you genuinely enjoy, not what you're good at, not what you're productive at, but what makes your chest warm and your body light. The cause: when the volume has been down long enough, the signal for genuine pleasure gets lost in the static. You can identify what you're competent at. You can list your habits. But if someone asks, "What do you do for fun?" a blank opens up. Not because you're boring, because the part of you that registers enjoyment, real, bodily, non-performative enjoyment, has been offline so long it's forgotten its own preferences. The effect: you try things and feel nothing. You revisit hobbies you used to love and can't connect to the feeling they once gave you. You watch other people light up with passion and wonder what that feels like. And slowly, you stop trying to enjoy things at all, because the gap between what you expect to feel and what you actually feel has become too painful to keep testing. This is the final stage of the volume knob, not just dimmed but disconnected. The knob still exists. Your hand is still on it. You've just forgotten which direction turns it back up. And the most painful version of this is when someone who loves you asks, "What would make you happy?" And you don't have an answer. Not because you're ungrateful, because the feeling that used to point toward happiness went quiet so long ago that you've lost the signal entirely. If you recognized yourself in these 7 signs, I need you to hear the part that matters most. The numbness is not permanent. It's not who you are. It's a state your nervous system entered to protect you, and states can shift. The volume didn't break, it just got stuck. And getting it unstuck doesn't start with forcing yourself to feel. It starts with noticing that you're not feeling, that noticing, that quiet, "Huh? I should be feeling something right now and I'm not," is the first signal that the system is ready to begin recalibrating. You don't have to feel everything at once. You just have to let the knob move 1 degree at a time. And the fact that this video caught your attention means some part of you already knows the volume is too low. At Inner Lens, we trace the silence back to the signal. If this one resonated, the next video follows a thread from the same quiet place. The subtle signs you've been dissociating without knowing it. It's right here,